Good morning, afternoon, or evening, cats and dogs. This video is going to focus on simplifying algebraic expressions similar to what you're going to see on your unit test and your mid-unit quiz. I did promise during our live Zoom that I would create a pretty short video with some practice problems on simplifying algebraic expressions. So this is it. There are 5 total questions. There's 2 on the first slide, 2 on the second, and 1 on the last. So if you want to write down the questions and try them, pause the video and then start it so you can check your solutions. That may be a really good way to go about practicing these problems and this skill. So looking at the first example, feel free to pause the video if you need to at this point to try these problems. We're going to start with the first problem, 8a plus 5a minus 7a. So the first thing you need to do for this problem is add the opposite. As I've said multiple times, add the opposite from the very beginning. So this is going to become 8a plus 5a plus negative 7a. So you can see you don't have to retype this or rewrite it again, but you can see that I added the opposite to make it plus a 7a. Now, our like terms are already side by side. There's no distributive property, so we just need to combine our like terms together. So I can add 8 plus 5 plus negative 7. 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 plus negative 7 is going to get us a solution of 6a. So hopefully you have that for the first problem. That's a pretty straightforward question. The only extra thing that you have there is adding the opposite from the beginning. Question 2. This one does not have anything that you need to add the opposite for since you have all addition signs between these. But what you do want to do is put your like terms side by side. So that will be the 7b and the 4b and your constants, which are negative 5 and 8. So you'll see that I did rewrite this as 7b plus 4b plus negative 5 plus 8. Add your 7b and your 4b together, and that's going to get us 11b. Add your negative 5 and your 8 together, and that will get you 3. Remember, you can use your calculators in this unit. It's really good for you to use them to double check your solution. So the final answer will be 11b plus 3. All right, next 2 questions. If you want to pause the video at this point and try these 2 questions, go ahead and do so now. All right, question number 1 on the left-hand side here, or question 3, depending on how you're looking at it. Start by adding the opposite. So the 5 and then in parentheses 2x plus 9 is going to stay the same, but minus 5x becomes plus negative 5x, and minus 6 becomes plus negative 6. Now keep in mind, as I said in class, you're probably going to reach a point at some point where you're not going to need to add the opposite. I don't need to do that when I'm working through problems, but since this is the first time we're seeing these difficult types of problems, please add the opposite because that's the number 1 place students were going wrong in class on their graded classwork. So now distribute the 5 into the parentheses. So we're going to take 5 times 2x and 5 times 9. So we've got 5 times 2x to get 10x, 5 times 9 to get 45. So I'm going to highlight this in blue. These parentheses became this statement right here. Now we'll put our like terms side by side. So that will be my 10x and my negative 5x, these two. And my 2 constants, 45 and negative 6. 10x and negative 5x is 5x, and 45 plus negative 6 will get us 5x plus 39. All right, the second example on the right-hand side here. First thing you want to do is add the opposite. Please, please, please. So you've got negative 2 plus 6, and then in parentheses, 3y plus negative 1. The minus y becomes plus a negative y, and I did write that as a negative 1y. I do like to put a coefficient in front of a variable that's by itself. So plus negative 1y plus 8. Now, the next thing we're going to do is distribute this 6 into the parentheses. We're going to do 6 times 3y and 6 times negative 1. It's really tempting to try to do negative 2 plus 6 since it comes first in the problem, but you have to distribute next. So 6 times 3y is 18y, 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. So again, this information right here is going to become this. Now put your like terms side by side. That will be your 18y and your negative 1y, these two. And then we have 3 constants, negative 2, negative 6, and 8. So something kind of fun happens here, at least, math related. We've got 18y plus negative 1y, which is 17y. but your constants actually cancel out or become 0. So -2 plus -6 is -8, and -8 plus 8 is 0. You can write 17y plus 0, or just write your answer as 17y. All right, last question. And I did make these pretty difficult, about as difficult or probably even a bit more so than what will be on your quiz or test, but I think that's going to benefit us in the long run. Go ahead and pause the video and try this question if you'd like. All right, so let's add the opposite first. We've got -7z plus -4, in parentheses 2z plus 11. The -9 becomes plus a -9. The -6z becomes plus a -6z. All right, let's go ahead and distribute this -4 into the parentheses. So we've got -7z plus -4 times 2z is -8z. -4 times 11 is -44. Bring down your plus -9 and plus -6z. Let's put our like terms side by side. So that'll be -7z, -8z, and -6z. I again probably overdid it with the negatives here. Get a -44 and a -9. All right, put them side by side. -7z plus -8z plus -6z is -21z. And then -44 plus -9 is -53. Keep in mind you can also write this solution as -21z minus 53 if you'd like. All right, thanks for listening. Hopefully this does help get you a little bit more practice. Don't be afraid to try some of the problems that you've already done either in class, on the review worksheet, or extra practice sheet again. There is no harm in doing some of those same problems more than once. Thanks for listening.